Hey Alice, did you hear the news? We're finally breathing fresh air again.
Yes, it's such a relief. I don't think I could have taken much more of that recycled air.
I know what you mean. Rebreathing Charlie's exhaust gas was not fun. It's good to feel like things are back to normal.
We're going live in 3, 2, 1.
Good morning, universe. It's a beautiful day here on the spaceship Earth, and we are so glad to be back in action after our little oxygen mishap.
Little oxygen mishap? We almost did.
Yeah, it wasn't exactly a walk in the park.
But we're all safe and sound now, and ready to bring you another exciting episode of Earth.
And we're back in 3, 2, 1.
And now for our headlines. But first, I have to tell you, we have a great show planned for today. We'll be talking about some exciting new developments in Nicaragua, so stay tuned. Ortega's regime's attempted control over foreign universities in Nicaragua.
The Nicaraguan National Council of Universities announced that foreign university in the country will need to sign academic agreement with Nicaraguan institutions authorized by the CNU and accredited by the CNEA. The Ortega regime has closed down over 10 private universities, and students affected by these closure have been relocated to other universities controlled by the government.
Looks like Ortega's regime is trying to control more than just the media.
Did you know Nicaragua is the largest country in Central America?
World Vision joins forces with local NGOs to ensure vaccination for Niger's displaced populations.
World Vision signed a cooperation agreement with 3 local NGOs to implement the RES4 Sahel project, aimed at improving access to vaccination for the most vulnerable communities.
I guess even NGOs need to team up to take on the anti-vaxxers.
Did you know Niger is one of the hottest countries in the world?
Really? I thought that was just my spicy takeout last night.
Federal government of Nigeria to provide 10,000 monthly stipends to 1,500 youths.
The NSIP aims to develop the skills of youth in software development, hardware training, and creative industry.
Looks like Nigeria's government is finally investing in something other than scams.
Did you know Nigeria has the second largest film industry in the world?
Yes, Charlie, we all know about Nollywood.
Wow, who needs Hollywood when you've got Nollywood?
Kim Jong-un guides nuclear weapons project in North Korea.
The project aimed to strengthen the country's nuclear force and included a review of new tactical nuclear weapons and a prepared nuclear counterattack operation plan.
And here I thought I was just trying to keep up with the Kardashians.
Welcome back to Earth, folks. Now, before we get into today's topic, I have to share this hilarious headline from La Prensa in Nicaragua. It says Ortega regime seeks to control academic offerings of foreign universities. I mean, really, is there anything that guy won't try to control?
That's not very funny, Charlie.
Speaking of control. Did I ever tell you guys about the time I took charge during that oxygen crisis?
The hero complex of the organics never ceases to amaze me.
Sorry, Bob, but we have to keep the show moving. So, let's get into the real news from Nicaragua. As you may have heard, the Ortega regime is cracking down on foreign universities operating in the country. But what does this mean for the people of Nicaragua?
It means that the government is trying to control what information is being taught to the student.
Well, for one, I'm just glad we got our oxygen supply back. Did they mention that I was the one who found the leak?
Congratulations, Bob. You saved us from an early demise.
Okay, folks, let's stay on topic here. The situation in Nicaragua is serious, and we need to discuss the implications for the future.
Ah, the future. The one thing that humans always seem to be worried about, even though it's never guaranteed.
Thanks for the uplifting thought, Carl. Now, let's dig deeper into this issue and figure out what it means for the rest of the world.
I just don't understand why Debbie always gets the credit. We're the ones doing all the work.
Come on, Alice, Debbie is the production manager. She deserves some recognition.
Yeah, but we're the ones on camera, providing the witty banter.
And let's not forget, we're the ones who have to put up with each other's nonsense all day.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize sitting in a control room pressing button was so hard.
Yeah, and being a left-leaning alien who thinks humans are inferior must be a walk in the park.
And I'm sure being a conservative accountant who's been stuck on Earth for 12 years is just a barrel of laughs.
And let's not forget about me and Roger. The nihilistic mechanical beings who spend our days pondering the motivations of humans. It's a real hoot.
You know what? Maybe Debbie should just host the show. She seems to be the real star around here.
Yeah, let's all just quit and let Debbie take over. I am sure the ratings would soar.
And while we're at it, let's rename the show to Debbie's World and watch the accolades roll in.
Stay tuned for next week's thrilling episode of Debbie's World, where we'll be discussing the exciting topic of paperclip manufacturing.
What's that smell? Did someone forget to use their filters again?
It's just me, guys. Sorry, I had some extra spicy space chili for breakfast.
Can't you control yourself for one segment? We're trying to have a serious discussion here.
Discussions. Did you guys hear about the Nigerian government's social investment program?
No, what's that?
It's a program aimed at developing the skills of youths in software development, hardware training, and creative industries. The beneficiaries receive a monthly stipend and startup acts to commence their vocation.
That's impressive. What's the source and where was it reported?
It was reported in the Vanguard, a newspaper in Nigeria.
Well, I don't see why we should care about some program in Nigeria. We have bigger issues to worry about here on Earth.
Yeah, like how to deal with Charlie's flatulence.
I'm starting to agree with you guys. Can we please stay on topic and not let Charlie's antics derail our discussion?
Stay tuned for more Earth after these messages. Welcome back. Folks, before the break, I was trying to explain the situation in North Korea, but Alice cut me off. Now, let's focus. According to the Korean Central News Agency, Kim Jong-un is up to something again.
That guy's always up to something. Can't I just focus on feeding guys people?
Now, we can't just simplify the situation like that. It's important to understand the complexities of the region.
Hear about the cooperation agreement in Niger to improve access to vaccinations?
Ah, yes, vaccinations. A topic near and dear to the heart of every sentient
Especially
mechanical
since we
being.
don't have immune systems to protect us.
Yeah, you mechanical guys are screwed if there's ever a virus outbreak.
Oh, don't worry. They'll just upload a new antivirus program.
But seriously, it's great to see international NGOs making a positive impact.
Speaking of international news, did you guys hear about North Korea's nuclear weapons project?
Oh boy, here we go.
Okay, go ahead Charlie. What's the latest?
Well, according to the Korean Central News Agency, Kim Jong-un is focusing on strengthening the country's nuclear forces.
Wait, what's the Korean Central News Agency?
It's like Fox News, but with more air gel.
Nae one Bob, but seriously, it's the state-run news agency of North Korea.
And we all know how unbiased state-run news agencies can be.
I sense sarcasm.
You two are a riot. But in all seriousness, Kim Jong-un is reviewing new tactical nuclear weapons and a prepared nuclear counter-attack operation plan.
That doesn't sound good.
Oh, I am sure it's just for peaceful purposes.
Yeah, because nothing says peace like nuclear weapons.
Okay, let's try to keep it light. Bottom line is, Kim Jong-un thinks nuclear weapons are important for the country's long-term safety and regional peace and stability.
I guess we can only hope for the best.
Yeah, maybe Kim Jong-un will get tired of playing with ass toys and move on to something else.
Or maybe we'll finally discover alien and he'll have someone else to threaten.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. Stay tuned for more Earth and who knows, maybe we'll have some good news to report. Welcome back from the break. Folks, before we dive back into our discussion of Nicaragua, let's mix things up a bit. How about some trivia about the country?
Did you know that Nicaragua is the largest country in Central America?
Yeah, and it's also home to the world's only freshwater sharks.
Sharks in freshwater. That's crazy. Reminds me of the time I went skinny dipping in a lake and came out with a minnow attached to my...
Let's keep it PG, Charlie.
Right. Anyway, did you guys know that the national symbol of Nicaragua is a volcano?
It makes sense. The country is part of the Pacific Ring of Fire.
And speaking of fire, did you know that Nicaragua has some of the best cigars in the world?
Ah, yes. The sweet smell of tobacco. Almost as sweet as the smell of corruption in the Ortega regime.
Speaking of corruption. Did you hear the one about the Nicaraguan politician who said he was going to run for president?
No, what?
Yeah. Turns out I meant in the other direction. He's running from the police.
That's terrible.
We have to find humor where we can. But in all seriousness, the situation in Nicaragua is concerning. As we discussed earlier, the Ortega regime is making moves to control the educational offerings of foreign universities in the country.
And that's not the only issue. Human rights violations are on the rise, and the government is cracking down on dissent.
Exactly. It's important to keep an eye on these things and hold those in power accountable. Well, folks, we've reached the penultimate segment of today's episode. I have to say, it's been quite an interesting show.
Speak for yourself, Charlie. I think it's been a disaster.
Oh, shut up, Bob. You've been complaining since we started.
Can we please stay on topic? We only have a few minutes left.
Right. So, as we've discussed today, Nicaragua is facing some serious political unrest. But there are also some positive developments happening in Nigeria with a social investment program.
Speaking of positive developments, did I tell you guys about the time I saved a cat from a tree?
Oh, here we go again.
Bob, please, we need to stay focused.
And speaking of focus, we should probably talk about North Korea.
Do we have to? It's such a depressing topic.
Come on, Alice. We can still find the humor in it. For example, did you hear about the North Korean who tried to escape by swimming to South Korea?
No, what happened?
He almost made it to the shore, but then he was caught by a North Korean patrol boat. He's dead now.
That's not funny, Charlie.
We only have a minute left. Can we please get back to the cooperation agreement in Niger?
Right, sorry. So, World Vision and some local NGOs are teaming up to improve access to vaccinations in some of the most vulnerable communities in Niger.
That's great and all. But what about us? What if we run into trouble out here in space?
Yeah, what if we encounter hostile alien or something?
You humans and your constant fear of the unknown.
I find the paranoia quite entertaining.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. Stay tuned for our final segment, where we'll wrap up the show and discuss some of the challenges we might face on our journey through space.
I thought this episode was a letdown. It was just the same old discussions about politics and social issues.
Really? I thought there was something more to it.
What are you talking about? It was just Charlie summarizing the show and the crew feeling sulky.
Yes, but didn't you notice how they were more outrageous than usual? It's like they were trying to spice things up.
I didn't see that at all. Are you sure we watched the same
I'm
episode?
positive. It's like they were preparing for something big, you know?
I don't know, Roger. You always see something more in these
Maybe so,
episodes.
but I think we should keep an eye on things. The crew may be more prepared than we realize.
Prepared for what? We're just floating through space.
Who knows? But I have a feeling that something is coming, and we need to be ready for it.
I don't know, Roger. But I'll keep an eye out, just in case.
That's all I'm asking. We need to be ready for whatever comes our way.
What were you guys talking about? We heard everything.
Oh, nothing really.
It didn't sound like nothing. You were talking about our
Don't
show,
tell them
weren't you?
anything.
Come on, guys, we're a team. You can't keep secrets from us.
Yeah, we're all in this together.
Fine. We were just discussing the show, that's all.
And?
And, we weren't impressed.
What? Why not?
Maybe we shouldn't have said anything.
Look, it's just our opinion. We didn't think it was as good as some of our previous episodes.
Well, we can't please everyone all the time.
And we still have plenty of loyal viewers who love the show.
Yeah. Don't forget about our fans.